ברוכים הבאים. בפודקאסט הזה נדבר על נושאים שיפתחו ויפתחו את צורת החשיבה. אני ברוזן, מחבר הספר מעבר לאופק המחשבה, ספר על החיבור בין עולמות הרוח והמדע, ואני מזמין אתכם להצטרף אליי למסע. הקשבה נעימה. אהלן, ברוכים הבאים לעוד פרק של מעבר לאופק המחשבה. אני מאוד מתרגש שתהיו כאן איתי היום, כי הפרק של היום מגיע אליכם מהודו. זה הפרק הראשון בפודקאסט שיהיה מצולם, הפרק הראשון שיש בו אורח, והפרק היום גם בזכות זה שהאורח שלנו כאן יהיה באנגלית. אז אני מאוד שמח להציג לכם את שאלינדר. הוא מורה יוגה מזה 25 שנה, הוא מורה מאוד גדול שאנשים באים אליו מכל העולם ויש לו הרבה תובנות מעניינות. אני איתו כאן כבר שבוע לומד מהחוכמה שלו, מעביר איתו סאטסנגים ומנטרות ושיעורים, ואני מאוד שמח שהוא כאן איתנו ושאני יכול להביא לכם את החוכמה הזאת מפה, אז בואו נתחיל. שאלינדר, nice to have you. I'm very grateful that you're here.
Thank you.
How are you?
Very good. Thank you for inviting me.
So I heard a lot about you. Also, I'm here for a week now. We got to have a few very interesting conversations. I got to see you with students and also with family and here. And I'm very glad that we're having this conversation and that other people could also watch this and then enrich their life from this conversation. So I prepared a few questions, but I want to ask if there is anything that maybe you want to start with, or say if there's anything on your mind that you would like to...
I would like to hear your questions first.
Great.
I'll be very happy.
So let me start by saying that, well, I know that you're practicing yoga for the last 25 years, and you're a teacher that people come from different places around the world here to study yoga and ayurveda and mostly kriya yoga. But I wanted to ask maybe if you can tell us about your background and your experience in that field and here in this place.
I'm born and raised here, and I'm very fortunate to live in this place, because the energy here is very inspiring, and very fortunate to have such a family which shows me a good example, genuine example of living the life as a life with your life is spiritual. Okay. And I met the people in my life, and I don't like to share their name personally because, but I've met many great yogis in my life that they have a great contribution in my journey, and basically, I just come in this path, just life brought me, and I felt that it has deep impact on me, because when I was graduating from university and in my master degree in accountancy, so at that time I studied a 1-year education.
At what age was that?
It was the age on, 19, something, that age, 18 or 19, that years. And then I joined seriously a program on naturopathy and yoga.
What type of yoga?
Naturopathy and a yoga, just a yoga practice, hatha yoga and philosophy. And then I realized after 1 year, the practices has a very deep impact and I feel that then I started to feel its very deep connections to my life.
And you were born here in Rishikesh,
Right.
and your family is a family of yogis or practitioners, or like did your parents?
Yeah, they have their own practices. They have their practices that's what I mean by the yoga as a life, life as a spiritual. So the way they live, it's very inspired me as I come to know the life, as I come to know the world. When I live with them and when I go out of the world in my journey at the age of 20, so I started to travel and teach in the yoga in different parts of the world, and I realized the the deep value of the culture and the lifestyle and everything what I have. And so so going to the West, I realized the value of what we have, what has given to us. So I learned to more appreciate it.
Definitely. I see I'll share that in the recent days, I'm going through my own stuff, and every once in a while, I get to have a conversation with you, and I can see like the things that I can see on your thought pattern and the way that you behave, the things that you talk about in the satsangs that we do every night. So every evening here there is a satsang and mantras, and you speak about like the way of life and how spirituality meets us, and then I can see that it shows in the way that you think on your daily life and the way that you act, which is the point. Which is the point. So I have a few questions that I think can be very interesting for the people listening, because we're talking about kind of a combination of our own life with the mystic life that comes from India, and with I don't know if to say like maybe higher levels of yoga, or like the places where people inspire to be. So I can say that one of the things that got me to come here were the stories that I heard. So, because I heard people talk about experiences that they had with you, and they said, like, he read my mind. Like, I was thinking something and then he spoke it out. Or I had a dilemma last night, and then I came down and spoke to you, and you started speaking like you already knew the dilemma, like you already knew what is happening. Can you maybe touch on that?
Sorry. See that, this is very natural. And I don't think it's I don't think it's some kind, what is it? I don't think about it, and I don't try to, in this moment, if I am with you and you are here to study and to live and to practice here. So my whole attention towards to you. So in the moment when I am with the people, I just, it's not, whatever I share, the teaching, it's not me, that moment it flowing, it coming through.
It's like intuition.
It's just coming, yeah, it's just a flowing through, it's just coming. Mm-hmm. If you will ask me tomorrow the same question, the answer will be slightly, according to that stage. Mm-hmm. So it's like, when people said to me, many people whom I met, and they said, "Oh, I was thinking of this, and you just answered this," or I have that kind of condition today, and you just answer that, it helps me. It's just the energy in the moment of satsang and after meditation and during the lectures, and that energy would bring that because we all have a different frequency of energy, vibration, prana,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
that is a different state of mind that we're carrying. So that the vibration, it allowing the teaching, the wisdom comes so that it can bring the healing itself. It's not that something I think about it, no.
And it's not like, so it's not, well, I know many stories that like I told you that I like
Yeah.
read about like Ramdas and Yogananda and
yeah.
Maharaji and
Yeah.
and so I know that all of these mystic stories exist of people having cities, having
Surely.
special powers.
But then again, people glorify about this. The people who had that power, they don't see this as a big thing, or they don't see as a power. They just see it as a natural expression of them. Because they are, when you, what happened when you do a sadhana practice and when you are in tune with the spiritual, when your spiritual nature, and you connecting with the higher energies, the deeper consciousness, so then naturally, your ability to functions become more deeper. Like which maybe seems, maybe it's for other people it's some kind of power, but for them it's just a natural expression of them.
Yes.
It just comes to them in that moment, in that state of life.
But it exists also that there are some people who teach or chase these kind of things that they want. Like I heard, I know at least some stories from Sadhguru. You know Sadhguru?
Yeah.
So I read Sadhguru book, and I remember he told her, like he explained about some places in India where people would go and study in order to gain power, so that they would have power over people, so that they could maybe make someone sick, and then he would have to pay them to heal them, or something like that. Is that something that you ever met or that you know about?
Basically, one thing, there is it's very simple to understand. We have a device, mobile,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
The mobile can help you to functions better, to connect, give you better connectivity and better functionality in terms of
Like internet and
reach
information.
to people, yes. And the phone can be also destructive for you.
Yes.
It's your motive. Similarly, all of those techniques and practice, if you use them for destructive nature. So definitely because you focused on that particular technique through the sound, through the mantra, through the meditation, the different way of connecting with that energy, and you are utilizing that energy for wrong reason, that's not going to uplift you. That's not going to.
Yeah, of course.
That's just going.
That's an ego place.
Yeah, and that's just destructive energy. So yeah, this types of people. There are different types of people, because people at that state of, egotistic dimension of their life, and they just, it's very pity that they come to that, they are using their moments of their life for such a cheap thing.
Yes.
If you have to do it because of to harm other human being, or to earn the money from that power, so you're wasting your time,
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It was interesting for me to hear if you had any
Of course,
experience.
I have experiences, and I have seen it in my life, and I've seen it people also, and I know personally people who are like this, but I knew that this is their journey, their consciousness. So don't involve with anyone.
And that's just like everyone's and the way that they're going to learn the lessons.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all of you have to know that, you come alone, you go alone. In between, you have a time, you have a choice to how you want to live your life. So you have to choose it. Whether you want to, waste your life behind the name, fame, power, money. If this matter for you, sure, you should do it. But if you're looking for something more eternal, something more deeper, so then its choice is yours. Yeah, and as a practitioner, you have to make a choice. You have to make your conscious choice. What works for you? What is important for you in this moment?
And I think that I relate very much to what you said, because you started the answer of this question from the place of having the knowledge, which is not really knowledge, of having intuition, like having the energy, the information just flows through you, just being a channel. And I know that in recent years I had many experiences or things that happened that people ask me like, how is this happening? Or how did you know that? And I didn't know. It's just like, it felt like doing that in the moment. And I feel like every time that I'm doing sound healing, it's kind of the same. Because every time that I'm doing sound healing, it's not a routine. It's not like going in and then playing the same song over and over. Every time it's different. Every time it changes by the energy of the room and by the people involved.
Exactly. Yeah, this is part of the when you just love what you do, your focus is so deep, you're connected with it, you're totally involved with it, then you just flow from the heart. You just flow with the energy. So it's like this. Very beautiful.
I wanted to ask you this question that is about gurus, or maybe about enlightenment, because I know that like a follow-up question to what I said earlier about having this opportunity or this energy that makes people wonder, and they come and they're kind of maybe attracted to the place, attracted to the person, to come here for their next lessons, for what they need to go to. And then a lot of people, I know that there is like a question in our group that we're here about like, so how do I know when a person is in that state, where he's in that place, where he knows and understands the things that we are not? How do we know if someone is enlightened? How do we know if someone is a guru? And how can we make the judgment? I don't know if judgment is the right word, but how do we understand?
See that one thing. Guru means bring you from dark to the light, from dark to light. So any person who brings you in a light, makes you aware of deeper awareness in your life, it's a guru. So guru is not necessarily a particular type of clothing, name. Guru is the one who inspires you, motivates you, and help you to go beyond from darkness, from egotistic nature to the selfless nature, to the spiritual dimension. And generally, a guru is a guru. Neither it's a male or female idea. It's just a channel. And the role of the guru is just to inspire and motivate and share to the student who are ready and according to their stage of their consciousness or their receptivity, it's give the teaching to them. And how, so one has to just see that when you are ready, you will meet the right guru. You met the right, when you're ready.
When the student is ready, the teacher comes.
That's the basically what they said. Yeah, when you're ready, then it's going to manifest in your life. Just come. So, but until you search, you don't met a right person, just come back to yourself and see whatever I have received through the life, because life is also guru. Life is the ultimate guru that it teaches you. Whatever life has taught me, shows me, give it to me, am I applying in my life? Don't worry what we don't know. What we know, I'm applying in my life. So one has to, I'm talking about the person who are searching and has not met. So at least same time, keep your door open, but in the same time, continue working on yourself. Continue work on yourself so that you can go towards experience, to apply what you have sincerely. And how to know a person is enlightened or not, you can't. There is you can in some way, but the best thing is that when you go to the person, you have your parameter of your mind,
Yeah.
and you will try to see if this person fit in this parameter.
Yes.
But enlightenment is if the person is awakened one, aware one. And if you will ask me, and I'm asked how I can see is that more spiritual you are, more humble you become. Like when the tree has a fruit, so it's bowing to the ground, coming closer, it's bending. And when the tree doesn't has a fruits, just becomes straight. It is ego.
That's a nice analogy.
So the enlightenment, anyone who has an enlightening, awaken, is learning to be humble. It's just not thinking to be humble. It's just humble that he's just bowing. For him or her, the identity and it's the second, it's not the first thing. It's the humbleness in their nature, the kindness, the compassion, the giving, the love, the unconditional is their nature. And it's a natural act. In a Bhagavad Gita, they also explain that there is the person who are spiritually awakened, it's the one who between failure and success, between heat and cold, friends and enemy, it's become equal. It become neutral because it's stabilized in something more deeper within, inside them, and that is the state when the mind doesn't wander here and there. Just mind find its that power, that peace, that mind melt, dissolve to that source. So naturally, you are coming to that equanimity, that stage of, and which is just a stage of when you go above more higher stage of their consciousness.
Because I had I heard all sorts of conversations and questions and about people looking at maybe someone who is, I don't know, defined as a guru, or someone who people are saying is enlightened, say like Osho, and then looking at it and starts, like you're saying, look at it from the place of, does it fit in how I view enlightenment? Because then people can say, okay, he's enlightened, he doesn't have the need for material possessions to gain his whatever. And then some people would look at, like I had a friend ask me, like, this guy, Osho, he's so-called enlightened, he speaks that way, he goes, people follow him, he wrote the books, and then he's in America with millions of dollars and with fancy cars, and that just, it doesn't fit for me, because why would he need all of that?
He was with it and he left all of this. Can you left your 90 Rolls Royce? Can you have a power to own the 90 Rolls Royce and leave them? He leave them. Can you have a power to earn a land which much bigger than the New York City? Own this much of big land as an organization, own that land and leave this land. You will die with the people. Ordinary man will die with a depression. He just come and he left. That is a spirituality. And that's why I'm saying to you, like people at the one stage, people will. So the best thing, it's like when we are sick. Yes, we go to see the doctor.
Yes,
and we see which physician, which doctor is best for me, which one is working for me, isn't it? Same thing. In the simple, come back with the simple. You met some masters, some teachers, someone who shares something, and you try, and if it's working for you, helping you, that is best for you. What works for you? What helping you to connect within? What helping you to coming to that space of quietness, that silence in you, that peace in you? That's it.
That's a good point. It reminds me of what you said the other night about the Buddha.
Yeah.
Because you were saying that, well, there's a lot of people who are enlightened, which is, I guess for us in the West, that sounds like an unfamiliar sentence, because we don't know most of us don't have that experience of meeting people of that kind. And maybe even if we do, we don't know, and we keep judging them by that box.
Yeah.
And then you said that the beauty about the Buddha and the reason that he is remembered that way in his teachings is because he had everything and he chose to go through the suffering. He chose to leave everything behind and to go through the hard parts of life in order to develop himself, in order to progress.
No, because he saw the limitation. He saw the limitation of the power, limitation of his kingdom, his power as a king, power as a royal person, he saw the limitation of the pleasure. And that's what they call in a yogic term detachment. Vairagya, dispassion. So you are, like for example, when we are small, we attach to our toys and cycle, whatever toys we have. And as we grow up, we no longer want them. We still love them, we still remember them, but they are not that much we don't hold them tight. They're now something else important. Same thing in a journey. He has a beautiful wife, children, family, name, fame, everything what you call the successful life and happy life.
Yes.
But he saw the limitation of this, the suffering in there, the limitation that there is a space in us that you can't fill up that space, and you still suffer because of that emptiness in you. So he go and search, he go to find, he's seeking this awakening. What makes me this completeness? How I can find my completeness, and he search. So when you have to search and seek, you have to leave, where you are. So he leave all of this because he found the limitation of this. Maybe for other people the people at that time, they can't understand, who don't feel what he feeling it, because we all see the oldness. We all see what Buddha see. We also see this old people, sick people, You know, people are sick. He saw the person is sick, old, dying. We all see, but we don't feel to the deep down that the one day it's going to happen to me also. And they don't see the limitation of this physical journey. So he saw, he felt it deep in his heart, and he go to search. That, is there something more than that? And he was full of questions to how, and he was ready to try everything what helps in him. So he tried. He met a guru, Yogi Ajar Kalam at that time, who taught him the practices. Then he met a different master at that time, and who can inspire. And finally, he come to that stage that he has to come to that final submission, final attainment, that nirvana. And he's just become, he just arrived in that stage of awakening that he found his path. It's a way how to find that freedom from, how to experience the ultimate freedom, ultimate happiness, ultimate fulfillment. That's what it is.
But I think what I wanted to say about it is like the thing that stuck with me when you told that story was that you said that, well, he had his wife, he had kids, and he left them, which for most people, like I know for me, like if someone from the family that you're really attached to, that you're dependent on, or something like that would now leave, then we would just look at it as selfish, and we would definitely judge that kind of choice.
Sure, yeah.
And then you said, and then you gave a different perspective about it. You wanna share that perspective?
Actually, I don't remember what I said. I don't know, but I don't remember at the time. But all I can say one thing to you is that, when he left and he experienced something, and he knew, because this was his circumstances. His father was not allowed him to go out of the palace. Inside the palace, in the boundary of the palace, the life was, in a way that he doesn't feel any kind of pain and suffering in his life, all the pleasure, full of pleasure and excitement and joy. Everything was there. So he wanted to know something. And he was searching. And when he came back after enlightenment, so his wife only asked him one thing, that this one thing, that you have gone to search this higher truth, because that's the ultimate dharma, the ultimate purpose of human life, to know his spiritual nature, the higher dharma. And if anyone go to that path with complete dedication, surrender, with totality, then definitely it's not selfish, because it's just doing it. It's like, when you want to commit suicide. When people want to commit suicide, they don't have the second thoughts. They just want to do it. Same thing when people come to the stage of searching that truth, they are in a similar stage that they don't know anything else. They just want to do this. They are ready to leave all of this. So when his wife asked him that, you have, before you leave us, if you have said to me that I'm going to go, you think that I will stop you? I will be your barrier? No. If you have just said to me, I have allowed you to go. But he said, as I know that he has said that, no, but that was, his thirst was so deep that he can't see anything else.
That's interesting. because what I remember from the other night was saying that even though he left in search of that great thing, he still felt like the sorrow and the pain of his family for leaving him. It's not like it's not like ignoring that.
Yeah, he can't, surely he has pain because he's human being. We are not machine. He's human being, and you are searching something deeper. He's aware of this pain, but he's also aware that the purpose he's living it. The purpose was much more higher, and that purpose, because he did this and he lived in this way, that's why we've known him. That's why we are talking about him right now.
Yeah.
If he had just lived his life as a palace and enjoy and pleasure and died, nobody knows him. We will not talk about him because there are so many king and so many different types of great people.
But now, like, he laid the path for a lot of people.
By sacrificing his own life, by sacrificing his own pleasure, and giving his life he's experimenting in his life and going through with his own set as an example. So that's why we call it in our traditions, they are like a spiritual being who comes to earth to show us the way. The purpose of life is not only pleasure, but it's the spiritual happiness, the spiritual fulfillment, that inner awakening. So it's just, and for this, anybody who don't practice, they can always criticize. But I think he was wrong, he was this. But anybody who does some sort of meditation and practice and inward awareness become intense, they will not criticize because they will come back. They have some degree of experience and they will not criticize anything.
Of finding that inner deepness.
Yeah, they can understand why. And so it's just, anytime when the people criticize, for example, Osho, Buddha, this, you have a freedom of, thoughts. But remember that instead of criticizing, I must see what they offer, maybe it's helping people or not. If it's helping people to find their peace. So many times people ask me, what do you think about Osho? I said, why I have to think about anything? I just know one thing, if it's helping humanity, it's helping people, it's helping them to find their peace and their spiritual value, it's perfect. That's a very important thing because, spirituality is an infinite ocean and everyone took some drop of it from that ocean and they describe it. It's fine, the way is it.
It's a good way to look at it. And I wanted to ask, well, maybe that's a question that I got now, and then another one that I already wrote down was about yoga. Because, well, first of all, maybe the question that arose in me was if you look at the path of Buddha as the path of yogi, because on the one hand, he studied yoga, and he studied from yoga, and he met gurus. And then on the other hand, he is the base of Buddhism, which is different from yoga in a way. Like they definitely connect to each other, and it's meditation, and it's finding the peace inside, but still people consider it as a different religion, as a different part of spirituality, even though everything connects.
So the question is the similarity on it, or the question
Would you consider him a yogi?
Look, anybody who brings you to that spiritual awakening, it's yogi. Christ was Jews. He never wanted to, he was not Christian. Buddha was not Buddhist.
Right.
So it's just, we have to understand when Buddha shows his path and he shows a recipe how to experience it. So when groups of people follow him, and to sustain the teaching, they make the steps. And anybody who follow that step, they have to follow as it is, to follow that path. So yes, from the rational perspective, there is some difference. People can see this or that. But when you really applying the discipline and practice through the yoga, through the hatha yoga, through the meditation practices, through the kriya yoga, kundalini yoga, any different aspect, and you arriving that stage of equanimity and inner connection, then you will find the differences will dissolve. So differences are here at the level of intellect. But at the level of experienced, you won't get that differences. There will be for me, the Buddha, Christ, they are offering is the way to experiencing the spirituality. So we have to see what works for me. What the practitioner in this age has to see what working for me. Not only remaining here as we discussed last night here, but come to there.
And how would you recommend to anyone who's listening to this? And if you're listening to this, then and you got to this point of the conversation, then definitely something about that is interesting to you, even if you don't practice. Mm-hmm. And how would you recommend to someone who is not practicing any methods, who is living his life, but is obviously has some kind of interests or is looking at that way? Like, how would you recommend to start?
Just awareness. Whatever you do, you see this is in this moment, if I'm cooking, if I'm cleaning, if I am having my breakfast, if I'm having my lunch, this is my meditation. Just involved fully there. Like to see everything, it's not like 50-50, but try to be there. So first thing, what we should do is to understanding mind goes in the past and future. What we have to learn is to making our present more interesting. Mm-hmm. So the mind can feel peace, quietness, grounding in the present moment.
Yeah.
And so how one should start it is to awareness of the breath. That's one. Awareness of the breath, or gradually learning a practices that if you gradually learning the practices of kriya, learning the practice of yoga, meditation, the technique that available, they are everywhere. There's teachers. Or you can study online nowadays, there are different methods to study. Mm-hmm. But important thing to start with, every morning when you wake up early first. Mm-hmm. And when you wake up, you try to do something which helping to connecting your mind inside. So inhale, hold, and exhale. Just stay with the inhale, hold, keeping your spine straight. Inhale, hold, and slowly exhale. Stay and train your awareness on this. Or it can be just a nadi shuddhi practice, like inhale, hold, and very slow exhale.
So these are specific methods.
It's simple practices that anyone can practice.
Yeah.
Inhale, hold, and very slow exhale, very slow exhale. Just train the awareness for 5, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. Just try something which you can form a habit, to build a habit, to teach
of coming inside.
to disciplining the senses. so that you can discipline the senses. Because by disciplining the senses, you can discipline your mind. By disciplining your senses, you can discipline your mind.
Or for anyone who doesn't recognize what he just did, that's a pranayama, that's a breath work from yoga, which helps to do exactly that.
It's actually a pranayama technique and nadi shuddhi kriya that we call it. Nadi shuddhi, it helps to clean and helps to purify the system. And there are many different techniques, not necessary. This all what I'm trying to explain, that something simple. And anybody who is sincere, they can try, who are looking for. And the early morning and in the evening, they can, when they're back, they just try to give little time to separating their mind from the day-to-day situation and coming back to yourself.
And can you maybe expand on, I know this question arises with many people, because if what we want to do is follow the breath and calm the mind and come inside, then what is the importance of sitting down and having the spine straight? Why is it different than, say, lying down, or if someone just doesn't keep it
Because
that way?
when you lie down, lying on the spine, your nervous system becomes passive and there's a more chance of you get in sleep. So when you keep your spine straight, it helps you to be alert and awake.
So that's the main thing about it.
Yeah, and it helps to, so that as you're aware and alert, so your breath becomes deeper and your, I'm talking about the beginning stages. But as you mastering your awareness, then you can do it in any pose.
Okay.
Like the Buddha, when he goes very high, his spine was, he has injury problem in his spine, so he can't sit for longer, so he just lay down and meditate in this way. He'd stay in that state. So what I want to say is that, at the beginning, we need a disciplines of the body, senses, and mind, so that we can train the awareness, train the flow of energy to be in this moment. And as you master this, then you can
Progress.
do lying on the spine or other position as well.
Okay. That's a question that is coming up a lot about that kind of thing for me too. And I think maybe like towards the end of the conversation, I want to ask you, how would a person who today we have a lot of things on our mind, a lot is going on. I know my audience is Israel, and we have a war going on right now, which is it's also weird being here in India and then like hearing from the family and friends what is going on at home, and so we have a lot of things that are stressing us, that are bringing tension to our life, and it's not, well, for some people it drives them into the spiritual path, because you need to find a way, because you need to find something that helps you and helps you keep balance and helps you focus inside, because the outside is just can be too much. But I think what I want to ask you is for the people who are not specifically on that path, or even for the people who are on that path, and like I know sometimes it just, there's a lot going on and it's just like, it feels like it's maybe challenging to stay. It's challenging to keep practice. It's those kinds of things. So I want to ask, how would you recommend for people to find their path? And also in the same following question, if you have a message like from here, from your experience, to some advice that you want to give to people in the West, maybe people in Israel, that can use some kind of heartwarming word for this time in life.
See, that one thing, practice is not only this meditation. No, this is not only. This is the one aspect. But as a soldier, if you are a soldier,
We have many now.
yeah, if anybody is a soldier, or anybody is a doctor, or anybody is running a shop, or anyone who is caring or healthcare industry or providing food, farmer, just do the best in your own eyes, the best possible way you can. That is your dharma. That is your spiritual practice towards the people around you, towards the society, towards the people, the best possible way you can. And in your own, you do it in a way that you feel your peace inside. It's you bring the good. So before you help, you should help there, and you should always come back that how it can be useful and helpful to others. But again, the act of serving, act of giving, we all have, but there is a one stage of ego that I can do this much because I have paid this much, they doesn't pay me enough to do something.
What I do.
Yeah, what I do. So there's a one stage of, this is the one stage of consciousness. There's another stage of consciousness. People say, you know what, this is something that I can share my best and give it my best. And that they try to give it more than they can, more best possible way they can.
Can you explain on that last sentence?
Like they can give the best way they can, and they try to give the best possible way they can. Like in a nature, plants, tree, they just give what they can.
Yes.
Similarly, you as a human being, your contribution to the circle of life, the best possible way you can through your services. And that is a very important aspect to giving it, to servicing, and that is your prayers. That is your meditation in this moment.
And how would you recommend for people to find what is their service, what is their path?
Whatever it, not necessarily that they are in this moment, in this situation of war, and if anybody requires any help and if I'm able to do it, I should try my best.
But, and also like in daily, not
day-to-day life,
like how to find, I think I'm trying to ask, like, a lot of people feel like, maybe now maybe at some point in life, they have the free time. Like right now, maybe someone is after university, maybe someone is after school, is after the army, or he just quit his job and they took some time for themselves. And they don't know what to do. And everyone is telling them, well, you can do whatever you want. Just choose. It's like a sea of every option is available to you. And like I know people in my personal life that are in that position, and they say, that's all fine and good, but I don't know what it is that I want to do, and this sea of options it's confusing. So like how would that be? How would you recommend to find the path, like to find your service, your dharma?
Look, dharma, it's not only the act as a profession. No. Dharma is that we live as a family. I live with my family, or I live single, or I live whomever the giving start from the home. Yes. First giving there, sharing there. If you're failure to give there, it's less chances of you to share, best possible way to share outside.
So you would recommend for people to start
taking care of the people, serving the people in the home, giving the best, giving your time, giving your attention, giving what you can to make this moment happier, peaceful.
For wherever you are.
Wherever you are.
For whatever is your circumstances.
Exactly. Towards your parents, or towards the elderly people.
Also younger ones.
Also the younger ones. Yeah, I mean, the elderly
I'm the youngest
and
brother
children.
at home.
Yeah, and the small children, taking care of children, because in a wartime, it's all of us is duty together to how to take care the best possible way we can. And it should start from where right now in my community, in my blocks of space of air, the area I'm living in. Let's try to be together and make sure that anybody need a hand, so we are there to helping them. In my meantime, or we create a small groups of young people that it can help and serve and being useful. So it's kind of unity, because somebody maybe have lost their family member, somebody have left, and maybe they need people are in that such a stage of depression and thing. Maybe a groups of people, somebody offering the breath work practices, somebody offering the sound healing like you do, somebody offering a helping hand to providing thing, or to supplying things, or just a different way of approaching what they can, how they can. And if sometimes they have no skill, they have the strength, just physically being helpful to passing things, or being helpful if some elderly people or any age group person requires any help, so they just being there.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
At least because we right now our unity together in that war condition, unity is very important. And we should not focus overthinking about those thoughts that is not in my hand to change. I should not lose a lot of my energy on those thoughts that I can't do anything with it.
That is happening a lot.
And this happening everywhere when such kind of situation. And people, they just destroy their mental health, and they keep a lot of anger inside them, and it just create bitterness and negativity. It just because we are channeling our energy towards the thought that which can't be, we can't do anything. We're just thinking about something which is not possible to do anything. You can't. The possibility you can't do anything with it. So what can I channel my energy? Take a conscious in charge towards your energy and say, okay, can I, first thing, to dialogue to yourself that this thoughts process is how I think, but that's in reality, we can't do anything with it in this moment, in this frame of time. But definitely can I use this energy in a more productive way, more useful way. So for this, first you try to, we try to, individual try to find its way to grounding his mind, grounding his awareness, and try to channel his energy towards more the productivity, towards more useful, helpful, and not losing the energy towards those issues that you can't change anything with it.
Those thoughts just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling.
Exactly. Who is wrong and the political subject or many other things, it's just no point. You can't do anything with it.
Definitely. Can only do where you have the place to do your actions.
Exactly.
And to take.
And responsible for managing, because your health, your state of mind, it's still in your hand. Everything is impacting you, the situation impacting you, but still if you're aware, okay, let's coming back and to engage on something which inspiring or useful and helpful, to do that way. Not watching the negative news.
So many.
Not watching the negative news, not watching all of this stimulating thing that this has happened, that happened. Yeah, but The important thing is that, what it's going to be, what in this moment, how I can keep the security of me and the people surround me. And then how I can
physically and
mentally and spiritually as well. Spiritually means trusting to the divine energy, towards the God.
The plan of life.
Exactly. The plan of life and the trusting the God, its plan and life. And acting moment to moment the best possible way you can. To being useful to you and to people around and to people others also. But again, it's a very difficult situation for many people.
Sorry.
No, it's when I'm saying it's a very difficult situation for many people, when I'm saying this, what I mean it is a very difficult situation for person to take a choice,
in action.
Yeah, to to channel their energy from the negative thought process to positive, towards the possibility. It's difficult for them because it's easily connect our ego, a mind. It's easily connected with this news thing.
Yeah, I know.
With this kind of situation that this happened, that happened. This is, and which is one part, but you have to see and separate yourself. Yes, I can't. Can I change here something? Can I do something with it? How I can be helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Israel, there is, obviously a lot of news. Like ever since the beginning of the war, it's only gotten, like the time of the news is used to be 1 hour in the evening, and then it became more and more and more, and now everyone's phone is always like, this happened here, this happened here, this happened here, and then you get this two dualities or two types of people, which some can't get disconnected from it, like they have to know what is happening, they have to see it, they have to hear, they have to feel like, I don't know what sense it gives the help, and then there's the other side, which can be like completely disconnected because you don't want to experience that, and we have to find, like we have to stay aware of the situation, but not involved in, like you say, all of the things that we can change and we can't affect, which are only harming us. So it's gotta be like some kind of balance between the two of them.
Yeah, and
that's maybe the place of taking actions
and
for what we can do.
When the storm comes, storm or floods come, at that moment you save your life and the life surrounded you. When there's a war and difficult situation, you just save the life of people or to being helpful and useful for them. But people who are actually are in the war, they are not this much of, they are impacting, but the people who are in the home, who are more passive, they more thinking.
Yeah.
Because they don't channel their energy towards any action, towards the right action. Or they are not consciously channeling the energy. They maybe go to work, but they become overthinking. So it's just, what I'm saying is the channeling of the energy is very important. And again, when the mind, it's, that's why the role of like this, the alternative healing therapies like breath work and the kriyas and the hatha yogas and kundi yoga, any forms of yoga and the sound healing and the music, what can help person. It can be offered and used, that can be very helpful.
Yes. So I want to ask, maybe just like for the end of our conversation, if there's anything that you would like to add, share, or just say.
Well, all I want to say is that, after every dark night, there's a sunrise and the day comes. So when there's a harder time in life, in this moment, it's very important you try to hold your hand tight and being helpful and useful the best possible way you can, and also helping you to by connecting to your roots, something which bringing you inside, and as this time will pass, the things will change with life. The important thing is here, in this moment, we should learn to taking care of the life of individuals and surrounded the best possible way I can. And as a practitioner, it's very important that we remember that we have done it, what I can, what is in my hand, the best possible way I can. And try not to blame yourself on those things that what you can't do anything with it. Because you have acted the best possible way you can in your own eyes. And if you have not, so you have a lesson, you have learned, and you next time you make sure that you try to be efficient, useful, the best possible way you can, because life teaches you, no? If you have not tried your best, so you feel inside, so your inner conscious teaching you. You can lie to whole world, but you can't lie to yourself.
Yes, you can try to, but it comes out.
No. Even if you lie, you're not feeling good here. But when you have done something right and your inner conscious is clear, you feel the peace inside. You feel the grounding, clarity in you. It's a very important thing is for us as a practitioner to, in your own eyes, you see that have I tried my best, and how I can be useful and helpful in this moment in my inner life and outer life.
Shealindder, thank you very much. Great having you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the hospitality and being here in the Vedic Yoga school in Rishikesh.
And all of you who are watching us, you're welcome to join us in Rishikesh for yoga and Ayurveda places. It's a retreat center, so all of you, you're welcome. Thank you.
אז רגע לפני שנגמר הפרק, אני אשמח לשתף אתכם רגע בעוד כמה דברים שקרו לי בהודו, כמה סיפורים קצרים. דבר ראשון, בחודשים האחרונים יש לי איזושהי הרגשה כזאת, שיש לי עוד דברים ללמוד על הקערות טיבטיות, שאני עדיין לא מבין מבחינת הסאונדלינג, שיש להם עוד איזשהו סוד או אלמנטים, וממש ניסיתי לחפור באינטרנט ושאלתי אנשים בארץ, אבל לא הצלחתי למצוא את מה שאני מחפש עליו. והייתה לי תחושה שכאן אולי אני אוכל למצוא את זה. ובאמת, איך שהגעתי להודו באחד הימים הראשונים, אני הולך ברחוב ברישיקש, ובמקרה פוגש שם חברה מורת יוגה שלא ידעתי שנמצאת כאן, והדבר הראשון שהיא אומרת לי זה, בר, יש כאן חנות מטורפת לסאונדלינג, שאתה חייב ללכת לראות. אז הלכתי לחנות הזאת, ובאמת כשהגעתי לשם, לא רק שהחנות עצמה מטורפת, אבל הבן אדם שבא להראות לי שם את הדברים, כשניגנתי בקערות, מסתבר הוא דור רביעי למשפחה שזה מה שהם עושים, מתעסקים בקערות טיבטיות, ובאמת הוא ישר ידע להגיד לי מלא דברים שלא ידעתי, מבחינת שימושים של הקערות, מה לעשות עם קערות ספציפיות ומה לא לעשות איתם, על תדרים בגוף ותדרים ספציפיים של הקערות וכל מיני דברים כאלה, שאני לא אעלה אתכם בהם, אבל פשוט היו מדהימים לי בתור סאונד הילר, איזושהי חוכמה כזאת שהחלתי לקבל, ואיך שיצאתי מהחנות והלכתי ברחוב, אני רואה זוג הולך מולי, והבחור נראה לי מוכר, אז אני כבר עברתי אותם בכמה מטרים ואמרתי, טוב, אני חייב לנסות, עצרתי, אמרתי להם, ביקשתי מהם לעצור רגע, והבחור מסתובב ואני שואל אותו, תגיד, יש מצב שיש לך קורס אונליין לקערות טיבטיות? והוא אומר לי, כן, והתחלנו לדבר, וזה הבחור אצלו התחלתי את הקערות טיבטיות, שאת הקורס אונליין שלו, זה בעצם ההכשרה הראשונה שעשיתי, הלימודים הראשונים שלי בתחום הזה, והוא בכלל בן אדם הערבי שעבר לגור בתאילנד ונמצא בהודו ליומיים. אז יצאנו שם שיחה קצת ארוכה ומרגשת, ודיברנו על הקערות ועל הדרך, והיה ממש כיף, והחלפנו פרטים. וזה היה המקרה הראשון שאיכשהו ככה דבר הוביל לדבר. ואיזה יומיים אחרי זה, אני הולך בכביש שמוביל מרישיקש לג'ונגל, אני יוצא מרישיקש, וממש אחרי כמה מטרים בתוך השביל, אני רואה שני קופים מזדווגים, ואני לא הייתי כזה קרוב אליהם, היה לי קצת מרחק, ואני פשוט המשכתי ללכת, אבל אחרי רגע אני מסתכל אחורה, יש לי איזושהי הרגשה, אני מסתכל אחורה, ואני רואה שהקוף הפסיק והוא הולך אחריי, והוא נראה לא מרוצה. אז התחלתי ללכת מהר יותר, ונעצרתי מאחורי משהו אחרי איזה דקה, להסתכל אחורה, אני רואה שהקוף עדיין הולך אחריי, וממש מסתכל עליי והולך לכיוון שלי. אז הלכתי יותר מהר, והוא ממשיך אחריי, וירדתי מהכביש לשביל שמוביל לגנגס, כדי לנסות להתרחק ממנו. כמה מטרים לתוך השביל הזה, פתאום אני שומע צעקה, stop, who are you? ושם באמת עצרתי, ואני רואה יוגי אחד שעומד מעל איזשהו מבנה אבן, ועוד בן אדם שנמצא מאחוריי, והם שואלים אותי מאיפה אני, ואמרתי להם שאני מישראל, לא היה שם יותר תקשורת מזה, הם היו מאוד תקיפים, והם פשוט אמרו לי, אוקיי, תוריד נעליים, תמשיך ללכת. סיטואציה כזאת לא ברורה, אבל אוקיי, בשלב הזה אני כבר, הייתה לי הרגשה ואני סומך על הדרך, אז הורדתי נעליים והמשכתי ללכת, ואחרי כמה מטרים אני רואה פתח של מערה, והיוגי המבוגר שעומד על מבנה אבן, מצביע על הפתח הזה ואומר לי, כנס לשם. אני נכנס למערה, ואיך שאני נכנס אני רואה מערה שקדושה להם, מערה קדושה כזאת, עם כתבים של סנסקריט על הקירות, וקטורת, ותמונות, וספרים, קטנה. ואני נכנס למערה, והיוגי השני הצעיר יותר נכנס אחריי, ואנחנו מתיישבים שם, והוא מתחיל לספר לי שזאת המערה שבה סבא רבא שלו ישב למדיטציה 11 שנים, עד שהוא הגיע להארה, ואז חי שם עוד 25 שנים, עד שהוא עזב את הגוף, ועל איך שהוא היה יושב שם למדיטציה, והנמר של היער היה בא ושוכב לידו כשהוא עושה מדיטציה, וחיות שונות מהיער, ובאמת היום זה מערה שהיא קדושה להם, ויוגים מכל מיני מקומות מגיעים לשבת שם. אז ישבתי שם קצת למדיטציה איתו, ואחרי זה הסבא הזמין אותי למעלה, ושיחה של חצי שעה פשוט סיפר לי, דיבר איתי בעיקר על הבהאבגד גיטה ועל הפילוסופיה יוגית, שזה היה, מבחינתי זה היה אירוע וואו כזה. ובכללי, מאז שאני כאן, קוראים מלא דברים מטורפים, ועליות וירידות, ומקרי סלחון כאלה, שזה קצת יותר מדי בשביל לספר, וגם דברים אישיים שקורים, אבל אני רק אגיד שהיום בבוקר, בהמשך לשיחה שראיתם שלי עם שאלינדר, היום בבוקר היה תרגול יוגה, ואני תכננתי אחרי התרגול יוגה הזה לעזוב כאן, אבל תוך כדי התרגול, כמה דקות פנימה, התחלתי להרגיש זרם של אנרגיה מאוד גדול, חזק עובר בגוף שלי, והוא התעצם תוך כדי התרגול, ואחרי איזה, לא יודע, באמצע התרגול, או כמה זמן לתוכו, פשוט הרגשתי מוצף, והתחילו גם לרדת לי דמעות, והאנרגיה התעצמה, ובעקבות זה אני נשאר כאן עוד, לפחות לעוד כמה ימים. ומה שאני רוצה להגיד בזה, זה בגדול, לדבר עוד קצת על הסנכרון הזה, שכבר דיברתי עליו בפרקים קודמים, אבל על המקום הזה של להקשיב לאינטואיציה ולהקשיב ללב שלנו וללכת בדרך, כי כל הזמן קורים דברים שמעפילים על זה, המחשבות שלנו, אנחנו רוצים לעשות דברים, ואנחנו מרגישים שאנחנו צריכים ללכת לכיוון אחד, והמחשבות שלנו לא מוצאות ההיגיון בזה, אבל כשאנחנו עושים את הדברים האלה והולכים אחרי האינטואיציה שלנו, בכל זאת, גם אם אנחנו לא מבינים בהתחלה, אנחנו הרבה פעמים רואים אחרי זה איך הדברים מתחברים אחד לשני, ואיך המקרי סנכרון האלה קורים, וזה פשוט מדהים, וזה מוביל את החיים, כנראה בדרך שבה אנחנו צריכים ללכת. אז לסיום הפרק אני רוצה להגיד שאם אתם מתעניינים ביוגה, אם אתם מתרגלים יוגה, או אם אתם רוצים לפגוש מורה שבאמת ממש חי את הדברים האלה, ושהוא ממש דוגמה ויודע גם להוביל אנשים בדרך, אז אני ממש ממליץ לכם להגיע לכאן, אם אתם באים להודו, אם אתם מחפשים משהו כזה, להגיע לרישיקש, לוודיק יוגה סקול, אני אשים לינק מתחת לוידאו הזה לאתר שלהם, ואם מעניין אתכם עוד סיפורים כאלה או לשמוע על דברים קצת יותר, אז אני משתדל לשתף ברשתות החברתיות, יהיה כאן גם לינק לפרופיל אינסטגרם שלי, וזהו להיום. שיהיה לכם אחלה המשך יום, אנחנו נתראה בפרק הבא.